Okay, everyone, good afternoon, all on our best behaviour as we're recording this. I decided today that it might be a great idea to really get back to some basics, because I don't know why, but for most folk, the biggest problem seems to be how do I get in front of folk? How do I contact people? How can I get more names on the list? And it goes on. And it's really quite silly in a way, because we just don't realise it, but we do know hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. It's just that we don't actually do what we're taught to do. And listen, I'm as guilty as anyone of this. Keeping a little notebook with you and writing down a new contact everywhere, wherever you go, wherever your memory is jogged by that person. So I've decided that I'm going to help you here. I'm going to share my screen, because if you can make some notes, and if you go to your partner portal, yours will look much the same. And then if you see my mouse going up and down, I want you to go to Learning Portal. And the quickest way around anything in here is press the A to Z. And then I want you to press G. And G is the very first one. And it's getting appointments. And I don't know how many people have looked at this, but it is sensational. And I'm going to move us out the way, and I'm going to show you in here. It actually gives you a step-by-step guide on all the things you can do to reach. The first one is the basics, which is building a list, and it's using frogs to jog your memory. Now, if you can't remember what frogs is, tell me, guys, if I press my memory jogger, can everybody see a memory jogger?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this is within that area. Frogs is an acronym for Friends, Recreational, Occupational, Geographical, same name. And it really does what it says on the tin, which is it helps jog your memory. And I would say one of the best uses of your time could be to sit down with a nice cup of tea and a bicky and your own book, and sit there and work through this and do it bit by bit by bit, because I think that people don't actually look at this. I don't think they work through it. And if they did, when I have sat with somebody in 20 minutes, I've helped them write a list of 50 names plus. But people don't sit and spend the time. I mean, I'm looking at one down the bottom here. Do you know anybody that sells ice cream or runs a van? Well, I tell you what, I know a few people, and all of a sudden, this is no longer going to be a viable way to earn money. I was listening on the radio that these ice cream vans are very costly to run. They have to have their engine going to keep the refrigeration going. And in fact, I didn't know, but even overnight at home, they have to have it all plugged in. Otherwise, the fridges don't work. With diesel at nearly, well, I paid $1.90 a couple of days ago for diesel, $1.90 a litre. And I'm leaded not far behind. I would say anybody who runs a business, runs a van for a business, is possibly nearly doing their nut. And I would say you owe it to them to give them this opportunity on both sides to save and make money. I spotted a thing on Facebook yesterday. Somebody down in Cornwall, a gardener, basically saying they can't afford to take jobs because it's just too costly to fill up. And somebody else said, well, start charging more, because your customers will understand you've got a cost. Yeah. So please do give this credence. You know, do you know anyone that's got blonde hair, ginger hair, blonde hair? I mean, it's basic, but look, it's really helping you think of things. And if you sat down and you started working this out, you'd say to yourself, God, I know loads of people that you come into contact with. You know, when you're out and about in your local town, your local village, there are lots of people. There are neighbours. There are neighbours of neighbours. The neighbours know people. They have families. And it's an organic thing. It doesn't happen in 5 minutes. It actually requires effort. Effort is what is going to pay the bills here. So when years ago, I just thought everybody would join. Have you found out that they don't do that? Have you found out even though you offer to reduce their bills, they don't take you up on it? Yeah. Madness. What gets in the way is ego. It's the biggest factor. Ego is the thing that it's what stops people. Even though everybody wants to buy something, nobody wants to be sold to. There's a stupid statement, but a true one. Okay. So you've got to start thinking, who are you in front of? You know your local postman. I do. I know his name, Rob. Nice guy. I know he's got a family, 2 children. When he's on holiday, I know his lady that steps in. And we've only been here a year, but it's about making it your business to show interest in other people. Now, let's talk about this, because this is a major thing. Major. It's not about being interesting, it's about being interested. All right. That's the way that you'll get through to folk. So if I go back to here, if I click view all, it's giving you, there's where you can download the memory jogger. And you can actually see a 2-minute 21 audio explaining all about, well, it's a video explaining all about frogs. Then it teaches you how to manage your list. That's using the online My Planner. If you wish to use it. Not everybody does, but you can do. Personally, I do use it sometimes. I can't say I'm that coherent with it, but I find it a useful way of, when there are no for nows, it's great because it reminds you, which is brilliant. And then what we call categorizing your list. Okay, I call it profiling. So when I sit with people and help them build their list, I ask them then to put an H next to all the names that they believe are homeowners. And then I ask them to put a star next to the names they believe are people that would have an open mind to earning more money. I would say that the earning opportunity has just got bigger, primarily because it's great to reduce someone's bills, but the reality is out there, Jobland is not doing what it's meant to do. It's not giving everything that people want. And the cost of living is rising so fast that it's not keeping up. Inflation is through the roof. So if you had 40,000 in the bank at one time, 40,000 might have been worth 40,000. It's probably only worth now about 25, because petrol at £2 a litre, crazy, isn't it? Crazy world. So all these things have got to be borne in mind. You've got to say to yourself, there's more people to speak to. And then they're giving you ideas of how to go about it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back one bit. All right, so there we are. The building the list, using the scripts. It's all there. All this stuff that you need to know. Everything is there. Everything. Okay. A warm list. What is a warm list? People that are possibles. They sometimes end up in our no for now, yes for later list because it's just not the right time at the moment. They could be going on holiday. They could be finishing an open university degree. There could be all kinds of reasons that it's not right now. So you now move them into this no for now list. Or you could do something simple, which I do, is I just use my calendar on my phone and I make a note on the date that I'm going to call them. And do you know what? All it does is it comes up on your phone that morning and lets you know. How easy is that? You don't have to even have a clever sort of system in place. Okay. That is more ideas on what to do. Okay. Scripts, how to phone people. That's the big thing, isn't it? People are terrified of picking up the phone. I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to ask you, why do you think people are afraid of picking up the phone? Afraid of speaking to someone? What's the biggest factor?
Someone saying no.
Yeah. And why do you think we don't want to hear the word no?
We feel rejected.
Yeah. Okay. When you go to a restaurant, Rod, and you've had a nice meal, perhaps you've gone for the rump steak, mushroom, tomatoes, triple cooked chips, very nice.
Nice.
Then the waitress comes back and says, would you like to look at the dessert menu? And you say, no, I'm really full. Do you think she has a pity party? She doesn't, does she? She just, yeah, fine. And actually, that's exactly how we've got to deal with this. So they say no, that's fine. No's, every no you get will get you nearer to the yes. And that's all it is. It's just, do you know what? I'm actually turning away a bit of business at this moment. I shared it with my youngest daughter on Sunday. I've got somebody that has emailed me twice now, wants me to give him a quote of my best prices by email. I go, wow. No, I'm not going, wow. If you could read this man's, what he's written to me, I think you rude so-and-so. How dare you? I rang, spoke to his wife, and I said, oh, could you just get him to call me back? No, he writes an email, and he writes straight away something on the lines of, I'm trying to remember the words. Oh, just like I was a salesman, every salesman, as soon as they get a lead, they're going to jump on you at all fronts. So just to make it known, I'm interested in what your prices are, but please don't think that you've got a natural customer. I thought you cheeky too. How dare you? You don't know the first thing about me. So I wrote back to him and I said, you've come out with a lot of assumptions when considering you don't know me. And this is the way I work. There are two options. One, I'll happily go out of my way, use my fuel and come and see you and show you everything that Utility Warehouse offers with all the facts and information. You'll be able to make a proper informed decision. Or secondly, we can meet up on Zoom, the next best thing. Either or. He's written back and said, oh, you put, ooh, I've hit a raw nerve.
I really want him as a customer then.
Well, you've got problems, mate. I don't want you as a customer, so I've decided to ignore him. I don't need it that bad. There is people, I tell you what, he'd be problems, this person. So I'm going to wait to see if he writes again. And if he does, I'll just say, please ring head office and they'll assign you a partner, but not me, thank you. Now, that is called posture, is it not? I'm not going to be rude to this man. I do not need it that badly. What we're looking for, and this is why I've told you the story, we're looking for people that have got a lovely open mind and are willing to see something, what we have to show. Because we don't sell, we show people. We show them what's on offer, and then we do a comparison. And if they like what they see, hey presto, they can become a customer. Doesn't need any coercion, does it? Oh, I can hear a pussycat. So hopefully that little thing I've explained there has helped you too. So look, guys, please take a look at this stuff. Scripts, they work. They absolutely work. All right. Do use them. They're brilliant. So let's go back again. Let's look at the next thing. There we are, the making calls. Okay. Now, what other ways are there to reach out? Social media. Some big no-nos. It tells you how to build your business online, how to build personal. Click it, have a look, see what's there. It's opening up. Wow, look at that. Stuff to give you an idea. Now, I'm going to stop the share there and I'm going to talk about social media. Anybody that knows me knows that I don't actually do business through social media because I actually believe it's social. All right. And I see partners, including senior group leaders, literally blatantly advertising. Personally, I just don't think that's the way to go, given that we say Utility Warehouse doesn't advertise. But what you can do is be really clever, because sometimes you can spot somebody you know that's having a good old moan. Now that lady I saw down in Cornwall that was saying she didn't think she could carry on doing her gardening business anymore, I privately messaged her through Facebook Messenger. Now, I'm not a friend of hers, but I just dropped a line and said, you don't know me, I don't know you. There's some great suggestions on here about what to do, charge your customers more, etc. But if you'd like to keep your options open and having another way of having more income, then I've got the very thing for you, and you and I could have a chat and I could send you some information. Now, what I didn't just send her a UW stories, because that wouldn't be right, would it? You know, that's called spam. She don't know me from Adam. Now, she may respond, she may not. But I've had some good results this way, because what you're doing is you're giving them an option of how to help. Now, there's been somebody in my circle of Facebook friends, and I'm doing this because I don't believe Facebook friends are friends. Now, Val and Steve and I, Dawn and Mel, Dawn, Christine, Kathy, in fact, we're all friends, aren't we? We're genuine friends, yes? But there's an awful lot of people that consider themselves a friend, and I'm thinking, I really don't know you that well, but we agree on certain things. And one lady, and this is why I'm giving you ideas on how to do it, she was actually going ape about her gas and electricity. Now, we are friended. So again, through the Facebook Messenger, I dropped her a line, can't say the name, and said, we've shared the same views on much lately, but what you don't know is what I do. And that problem that you've got with gas and electric, I undoubtedly can help. Now, that's confidence. She instantly messaged me back, my number, give me a call. And I've actually signed her up. We've had a chat. We ended up on Zoom. We did the presentation because she's up north. Didn't even know she lived up in Northumberland. And she's become a customer. How about that? Now that I consider is the way to do it, because it was a genuine, I can help you. And I certainly didn't what I call obliquely sold on my Facebook page. Another instance that happened, and I might have already explained this once before, it's just that it's great for people to understand. I have certain views about certain things going on in the world. I've got to be very subtle here. And there are other people that actually share my views. And I don't know them necessarily, but they've friended me because of it. And this was about 2 years ago now. Do you remember the first lockdown when we couldn't do anything, go anywhere? Well, anyway, this particular person and I shared views on things, and something that he posted just made me roar with laughter. And I noticed that on this Facebook Messenger, and please don't take the mick out of me, but there's like a video camera, and there's a little handset of a phone. And I remember thinking, ooh, I wonder if I press that handset, I wonder if it'll work. So I pressed it, and all of a sudden this voice answered, Liverpudlian voice. I said, oh, is that Mark? He said, yes, it is. I said, oh, hello, Mark. This is Lisa Ware. You and I have been sharing loads of information for ages. And he roared with laughter and he said, wow. He said, you're calling me? I said, yeah. I said, I didn't realise you could ring through Messenger. So we're having a natter and I'm finding out about him. And he happens to say, oh, of course, he said, it couldn't be a worse time. But he said, my ex and I have finally decided to sell the house. We've been living together for 14 years after we've been divorced. I went, what? He said, no, true. He said, it's a big house. He said, we've kind of divided it and we meet in the kitchen, you know. But he said, to be honest, he said, we get on better now we're divorced than when we were married. And he said, it kind of works for us. He said, but we finally decided we've got to get on and sort this. And he said, it's all very well, it's fine. But he said, of course, the trouble is, it's that horrible thing, isn't it? When you move, you've got to set up all these services at the other end. So I then giggled. And he said, what's so funny? It's not funny. He said, I'm not looking forward to it. And I said, well, no. I said, do you believe in fate, Mark? He said, yeah, I suppose. I said, well, that's what I do for a living. I said, I reduce people's bills. I said, I set them up with services. You don't, he said. He said, well, that must be fate. Oh, he said, you and I need to talk. I said, well, nearer the time, I said, when you've actually completed before you exchange. I said, yeah. I said, then, no, exchange before you complete. I said, then, yeah. I said, I can get you all set up. I said, oh, great news, Mark. I said, other companies charge about £150 to get your line activated for the broadband. And I said, our company heavily subsidises it and it's 18 quid. He went, oh, I need you, Lisa. I said, oh, well, that's great. And what happened about a month later, I signed him up for everything. Now, Mark has gone on to refer me 3 times now. He's not interested in the opportunity, but he likes the 50 quids. He goes on his app and presses that little thing and fills it in. And there's another one he's just sent me. Now, what I want to share with you is there is not a single thing on my page that tells you that I reduce people's bills or I show people how to make money. But I have managed, in a funny old way, to get stuff from it. Now, there is somebody on here that is really good at Facebook. And when she first joined, she joined in lockdown when you couldn't go anywhere. Now, Dawn had always wanted to become a partner, but she couldn't drive. And when our remote tool came in, I remember ringing Dawn up one Friday evening, and basically Dawn nearly bit my hand off and said, yeah. Didn't you? Yeah.
I did.
We met through Sandy, who I met at the Romsey show, and I helped Sandy at home. She then said, we want to do the Hogard Club, and you were the treasurer, and it was there that you instantly said, oh, I'd like to, you can come and sort this out for me. And we saved you an absolute fortune. It was a lot of money, I know.
Nearly
Huge.
£3,000.
Yeah, and that was without cashback, guys. Absolutely true.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way, she doesn't live in a mansion. She lives in a converted chapel. It's just that she had economy 10, what we call super deal, big savings on the electric. Now, to cut it short, Dawn, I kept saying, Dawn, you could be good at this. And of course, she said, oh, well, I don't drive. Well, when this came in, what happened? The remote tool. Dawn decided to do something. Write this down. It's clever. And I wouldn't suggest you copy it exactly. But basically, I still don't know how you did it. But she did this backdrop on this post of all these, it was sort of pink with all these pink hearts everywhere. And there was this writing, and all it basically said was something like, come on, you lot, who's going to help me learn?
Help.
Please help. Who's going to help me learn how to use Zoom? And I've got to practice. It was something like that.
Yeah.
It didn't say anything about anything. And what's interesting, if you go on there and have a look at the time, all these people popped up. Yeah, I'll help you out, Dawn. Yeah. Now, what happened was we set up on a Friday 3 appointments. And Dawn kept saying to me, they're only here for practice, because that's what I told her to say. Just practice. Every person that came on didn't know what it was about. They hadn't got a clue. And Dawn said to me on number 2, which was her best mate, how many years have you known each other?
Oh, 15 years or more.
Yeah. Well, you said to me, she won't sign up. She'll just do it because she's my mate. And I remember turning around and saying, Dawn, why don't we let her decide instead of you deciding?
Yeah.
And much to Dawn's amazement, 3 people came on, £750 in one day. And I can remember she turned around halfway through and said, you ain't going to go back to cleaning, are you?
Oh, and I have.
But what I want to say is Dawn did it right. She kind of did something. She just put it out there. I need some help. I've got something new. I've got a new venture. I've got to learn what to do. I need some practice. Who's going to be my first 6 special people? Something, existing partners. Something new has just come in. And I'm really excited, but I need to practice. Who's going to come and help me practice? So there we are. There's a bit about social media. Let's go back. Go back a page. What else is there? Gathering referrals. Do you actually ask people? Do you actually ask people when you're with them? Or do you just do that kind of presentation and never, ever ask? You know, if you don't ask, you don't get. In my early days, take a leaf out of my book. We used to have these little books. One side said referrals, and the other side, it was upside down. It said distributors. And Rob Barris said to me, this was a referral marketing business. That's what he told me when I joined. Well, I believed him. And I just used to get my book out after I'd signed someone out. I'd get it out, open it up, and I'd go, right, everybody gives me 3 recommendations.
You did that with me when you signed me up.
I sit there, pen poised, looking down at my book, waiting. And do you know what? The fact is, people do. If you don't ask, you don't get. Now, you could ask for 6, but I've always not been that cheeky. Mind you, one guy did turn around to me once and said, do you only want 3? Oh, off the top of my head, I can think of 9. I went, oh, I'll take 9. So there's another thing, just ask. And if you haven't already asked, why don't you go back to folk? Listen, you've got every reason. Go back to them and say, look, the economy is going nuts. We've got diesel at nearly £2 a litre. Has anyone else noticed the price is going up in the supermarket? Oh my gosh, it's through the roof.
Yeah.
I buy Waitrose free range organic mince lamb. Only, I don't know, a year ago it was £4.50, which a lot of people would say is quite a lot because you can buy mince, can't you, for like £2. But I like the quality. It's £6.25 on Saturday when we went. £6.25.
Wow.
You know, and everything. Has anyone noticed that that shop is getting costlier and costlier? Do you not think that some of these people just might be glad? Why not go back to them and say, look, do you know what? It would be so glad. Be lovely to help some of your family and friends. And in so doing, helping them, there's a possible £50 in the bag for you. And I'd love you to have it. So good reason to call them. Right, we're just slightly going over, but I want to go back to the last bit. And this is something that you may never have done. Run a home launch. Yeah, there is other things here. All right, there's other stuff too. There's neighbour letters, business networking. These are topics, to be honest, for another day. Each one would take half an hour at least. All right. But I want to talk about very quickly the business launch. So if I click on that, and again, of course, it gives you an idea. Download the micro op, it's all there. Now, what I'm going to say to you is, oh, I've lost you all. Where have you gone? You're there. You don't have to be clever at this. Hello. All of you, in my mind, are not a million miles away. Okay. And I don't mind getting in the car. And I've done quite a few of these launches. What you don't do is you don't go over the top and start producing cakes for the evening and, you know, God knows what else. Tea and biscuits is absolutely fine, or soft drinks. Invite people round. Who remembers Pippin party plan? Do you remember that? When I was a single parent and I couldn't go out in the evening, it was one way to get people round to me. It became my social. So I was that friend that say, yeah, I'll have a Tupperware party. Yeah, bring Pippa D. I had the lot. I had Leroux, which was the scents. I had things like leather belts and all that stuff, everything. I had parties. And the idea was that the guest kind of invited everyone round. People came, somebody would do a presentation, and I would get a gift or two, which to me in those days was nice, but I also got a social out of it. Now, I'm very proficient at presenting, and I've got the HDMI lead, and I can even do it from the phone. I can screen it, what they call cast it onto the TV. And I can stand and do the presentation and then answer all the questions at the end. All you've got to do is the host with the most. And if at the end we spot a Mr. or Mrs. Negative, because there's always one, what you do is you very politely, that's where you as the host, because they're your friends, you get them out the room, away from everybody else, and then I deal with the others. Now, I have signed up 4 people in one evening. And I went all the way to the West Country for a lady called Natalie Oates. And she laid on one in a sort of social club, a part of the club. And I did it all. And from that one, in the next week, she went on to sign up 12 people. 12. And one became a partner, and still a partner and a TL. So these things work. So look, lots of ideas. You're probably thinking, how can I do a business launch when I'm already launched? Well, actually, you just say, I've decided to have a little bit of a get together at mine because masses has happened in my business. I've been a little bit out of it, but I want to get back in it. And this is a great way for me to learn and practice. And there'll be lots of benefits for you to see as well. So guys, have I given you some ideas on how to reach out? And next week, possibly we could go through something like the 20k giveaway or the neighborhood letters, all that stuff. There's loads. Yeah, but they're massive topics on their own. Okay, any questions? No? No? Have I dumbfounded you all? Because that wasn't. All right, listen, guys. Next week, I think, should we tackle 20k giveaway? And then we could do letters the week after. Is that good? Yeah. Lovely. Nice to see you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Lisa.
Bye.